710,
7-11, or 6-11.
611, yeah.
Do roll call, Dan,
Yeah.
Ben,
Yeah.
and Jeff is absent. This meeting is being held to discuss the park committee funds,
Record.
records. I brought what I received, which I left the box as I received it, what was in it. There wasn't a whole lot in there, just the calendar and the notebook with the minutes in it, and that's about it. I don't know if we can answer questions. I don't know what we want to do.
Yeah, how long did Mr. Work handle the record?
I don't have a definite answer on that. It was, I mean, obviously I don't know exactly when he received them, but I believe it was several weeks
Like a couple months. He said.
or,
Yeah, he got it early January, so right after first year, and then we
Right.
didn't get him till February, March, somewhere around in there, March.
March probably.
Yeah.
So he probably had them for at least 2 months.
Was it given to you willingly, or was he told you to?
He was told to give them to us by the prosecutor.
Oh. So you don't know what he could have took out there?
Nope, I have no idea.
When I spoke with the prosecutor, she said that if anybody had any questions, comments, anything that they thought wasn't there, should be there, to make a list, and the board can present it to her. I asked her about coming to the meeting tonight. She didn't feel that was appropriate because she's not here to give legal advice to all the residents. So she said if the board would come up with a list from the residents, that she would be more than glad to entertain that. So if we have comprise a list of things that you don't see or aren't right, or they think are missing or whatever, then we can take that to her.
And I brought the receipts that I have from 2010, 11, 12, and 13.
What was that, 2001?
10, 11, 12, and 13.
I have a calendar starting back in 2008. That's when you go.
Don't have any back in
Well, I didn't bring them. I may have some. I just stopped at 2000. I just did the last 4.
Now, the first month or so may not be real complete. We had put the calendar online. Jeff had opened it up. Then Barb would tell me when there was a rental. I would put it on the calendar. We would sit down and compare our records like once a month or so. Every now and then there would be something, this goes until December 2010.
Okay.
Every now and then there would be something I didn't have, and she would tell me that it was somebody who had just like a couple days prior to the wanting to rent it, so she didn't bother to let me know to put it on the calendar. When I found out about it, I still went back and put it on just so we had record. So there might be some spotty things, but I thought it would help.
Yeah, because we only have the 2013 calendar. Is all
Yeah.
she gave us.
So that's that.
Can we keep this, or do
You
you?
can keep that. The reason I watched the last video because I wasn't able to make the last meeting. We were talking about having this meeting. And I knew I had turned everything over to Barb when I left.
Did she get a
But then
copy of this? Or
No, she doesn't have a
Okay.
physical copy of it that I know of.
okay.
We had opened that and I thought, I wonder if that thing still works. Wonder if I have the password. Well, I found it and it was still open, so I was able to go back and pick that up. So it's still there.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll get any help, but. And most, like I said, most of the things, I gave her everything I had.
Now,
I might get, if you have questions about something, I might be able to go through the old emails, find something. I know between then and now, I had a computer crash, so I did lose anything I might have had digitally. But anybody, I still haven't. So,
Thanks.
Now, if somebody canceled, did you take it off the calendar? Because like,
I think so, but I won't, I just don't remember
Right.
how we did it exactly. It's been a while.
because G. Campbell reserved for January 9th, and I don't have a paper. And also February 6th was S. Dennison, and I don't have one for them either. You know,
Dennison.
so I wonder if that would have been canceled or,
I also have a spreadsheet that you had put together.
yeah, and I didn't get a chance to update that to current status either.
Something's, what's the date on it?
The 9th,
9/23?
yeah, no, January 9th, 2010.
Yeah, they may very well have. I don't know if this will help you. This is what you had given me about.
Yeah, well,
monies
they're
you
all
had-
here, they're all here.
Okay.
I mean, this is how I make this list off of these.
Right.
So, because that's all I have to go on, is what she gave me when she gave me.
Right.
So,
In these early years, I mean, yeah, it could have been done. She could have stolen. I don't know that she didn't, but I kind of believe that she didn't because I think she would have been a little afraid. I mean, as we were comparing notes, I knew she thought Donnie was watching that building too when she was running it, so. But I don't know. I mean, it would be easy to do.
I wonder,
It would be very
yeah,
easy to do, so I don't know.
let's see, the deposits, you never got any deposits.
I see that. Yeah, those-
Yeah, see,
those
that's,
are
I think
13.
that's the biggest question.
yeah.
Yeah, we
that-
never
Is
got
people
any.
have said they didn't
Yeah, all,
get their
that's all
deposits
2013.
back.
Does the rental form say anything about returning the deposit?
this
Because
is-
I remember, and I could be way wrong,
And see,
date
that's,
deposit return, cash.
Yeah,
See, when cash is involved,
yeah,
right.
there's no way you can prove it. It's your word against theirs, there's nothing you can do. Maybe in the future, everything has to be a check.
That's what I suggested, that from here on out, Don only takes checks.
yeah.
He'll take, 2 checks, $25
Right.
fee and then $25 deposit when they rent it. And as long as they clean it, then they'll get the deposit check back. So, it'll only be the 1 check. That's what I think.
Well, and he ought to have them sign something to show,
I don't even
They
know
got
if
their
his
check
forms out,
back.
which I need to get him some, I guess.
Yeah.
But he also hasn't said that he didn't. I should have known he didn't have any, but he hasn't filled out any forms, I don't think.
Yeah, without the paperwork.
Can I say 2012, Jenny?
See what?
2012, you're saying?
Ron has a question.
Maybe since this is being put on here, I'm thinking it's like why you have each of Marl Post and Jeff Court thing where it's not here. What took place.
You just want it on record? What happened, anything?
What I'm trying to say.
Like after dissolving the park
Sure.
committee.
I guess we're having a meeting because Barb Wiseman was part of the park committee, and she was also part of a couple other organizations in the township, and there were funds that were misspent in the other organizations, so kind of just to check our records and make sure all the ends meet, don't meet, or whatnot, so kind of just look back through all the records and see if there's any questions, and kind of just do, I guess, like a self-audit of the books.
Has the prosecutor talked to any of these people that didn't get their deposits back?
I don't believe so. unless you could physically prove the paper trail where money was taken, then he goes, I don't want to hear it. He said,
Even if you had 10 different people saying, I didn't have.
but the only bad thing is, I'll just use Dan for an example. He rented the building, he paid a deposit, he got it back. Okay, and I go to him and I say, hey, did you get your deposit back? Maybe you think, well, here's a quick way to make $25. No, I didn't get it back. So it's just taking their word for it that they did or didn't get it back.
I was thinking we originally had them sign when they got it back, and maybe not. So that way you could still be
Yeah.
taxed
Sure.
if you had someone sign that they received
Sure,
it
got it
back.
back, yeah.
Because I know a lot of people don't like to give checks.
One lady I spoke to said that in the past 2 years, she's rented it approximately 5 times, and she said she never got her deposit back any of those times.
Why didn't you say something?
No, I really don't know. And I can't remember if it was her. I talked to 3 different people, and I can't remember if it was her or another person. They stated that they thought the deposit was to hold the building. So they're going to pay the deposit to hold the building, and then also pay for that rental. So they pay $25 to hold the building, $25 for the rental, but the total rental in the end is going to be $50.
Were they told that, or were they just, that's just how they interpreted?
The first question I followed up with was, did you clean the building? And they said yes. They said the agreement was when we paid, Mrs. Wiseman that we had to clean the building, we were done. Did you clean the building? Yes, it was clean, but we never got our deposit back.
The rental forms spelled it all out.
See, this
It doesn't.
isn't the form that we had, I remember when I was on the park committee originally.
Yeah,
That's not the.
that's not it.
No, that's not it at all.
Uh-uh.
No, it was
That's
a real
one of those
long,
things
yeah.
I lost in my computer
Wonder
because
where that
I tried to find it.
Yeah,
But I'm
this-
sure if I go through emails, I'll find it because I know
Yeah.
I
Well,
emailed that
it has a back to
somebody.
it with the rules and everything.
Is
I
that
just
what
don't
it is?
copy that.
Well, right, why wouldn't you?
Right.
No.
I just copy the information, because
But this isn't even the front of the form that we originally came up with because it was quite detailed.
Yeah, and I typed up one
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
And I'm sure I emailed it to somebody, so I could probably come up with it, but, and I don't know if it's been revised since then, but.
Because this thing was form you typed up, Jen.
I didn't do
No.
it, no. Something that somebody gave me to make more copies for her is all
And it
I.
was probably me that, I probably had an email to you about it.
Yeah.
We have had it approved at a township meeting. And we made just minor changes, but I worked from another form. I didn't just come up with
Yeah.
it, we just tweaked whatever was in play at the time.
I don't know how we'd ever prove
And the
it.
same thing on the brick sales. How, do you know if that money was all accounted for?
When we started the brick thing, which of course, we didn't have that many volunteers, we weren't getting very far with it. Originally, it was to make money for the playground. Because remember, we
Right.
thought we had to come up with,
Right,
25% or 5, I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right.
We thought we had to come up with extra cash for
yeah.
that. So we were trying to raise money that way. Now, after I left the park committee and I went to a meeting, I think Jeff was back in by then because his mother was on there. And she had made a comment about getting the flag thing because those sales were for the flag. I'm like, no, original. Now, if you change in midstream, I don't know because I wasn't there, but originally, we sold those as playground equipment.
Yeah, because I was on the committee when we first started selling those, and then that's just about then's when I quit. We had a meeting, where did we have that meeting? Was it in the church basement that we had a meeting, or?
That's before me then.
Shoot. I was trying to
We
remember
always
where.
had it here.
The brick sale papers are also in here. All the brick sale papers that I have are included in.
Because there was several people at that meeting. I was thinking you were there.
Not in the church basement, I wasn't. I've never been there.
It might have been somebody's house. But we discussed things like having square dances to raise money, and we had all kind of ideas. and then Jeff kind of shot everything down, and that's when I quit. Because we had,
On that, because I don't remember any of that, but then my memory sucks.
well, I know there was like some guys from Dogwood who wanted to do a
Jenny,
3-on-3
in that box, was anything
basketball
there
thing,
about
and I don't remember who they were.
the king spinner?
But I was,
There was?
I
I
was,
thought I was original, but maybe not.
See, originally when the park committee got started, Will Kermit.
It was in
complained about-
2008. Were you on
Yeah,
that?
because they drew names out
Any
of a...
receipts?
Right, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
So I
Brochures.
understood it,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
Jeff contacted me and said I was on it.
yeah.
See,
But it
that's
was originally started that
Copy.
they helped pay for
That paper she
utilities.
signed.
Right.
That's what we had hoped.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Where's
That
all
was
the-
our original
Yeah.
goal, and then we started finding out how much
What do you want?
utilities were versus what
So
we
is
were
there anything in
being able
the
to bring in,
report
and
for King
it
Spinner?
wasn't.
Yeah.
Any of the paperwork?
So
Anything?
we kind of switched to priority of the playground, because that's what Donnie wanted, and so we switched to that, and, yeah.
And then went to the flagpole at some point.
The flagpole, that'll kind of pump me off.
The flag, a lot of
Flagpole.
offered built.
Well, the thing, yeah, and there's veteran groups out there, there's Energy Co-op and other places that, you could have applied and gotten the money for. And I think that's what should be done, rather than using the park committee funds. Yeah, I want to get it done, well, if I did not install myself. But, so I
There's a
don't
letter
know.
saying that we received the grant for the spinner.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
You see, that was something that Ben and.
Where's all the
Ben and I
information that was
meeting
from,
during
the
how to take
insurance
the
company?
merry-go-round out. And they ended up taking it out.
What's all the information from the
See, I
insurance
had hoped,
company?
or at least in
Did
my
they talk to?
original
and-
plans and ideas were to
If there's a list, you
continue
can
to
make a
raise
list.
I'm writing it right
funds.
here.
And that's the other thing, replacing the merry-go-round with a new merry-go-round is what I
It's
want.
like the application.
Yeah.
But it's old and it needs repairs and, if you can get a grant, why not? So somebody can get that money, money.
You can look at this, but it's not what you're looking for.
No, you know what I'm saying?
So I want to do the fence and I want to.
I heard like, where's the thing that, where's the letter that says,
Couple people on the original.
Where's the letter that says the
committee
merry-go-round
were like,
license?
playground equipment, there's no reason
I
for it.
have, well,
where's the copy that
Still
she
lots
would
of
have
things
gotten?
that can be
Sure,
done.
sure.
yeah, there isn't anything that ever said the merry-go-round.
Water softener.
Right.
But
But would she have gotten copies of information regarding it when they looked into it? Where's all the information?
yeah, I don't know.
It should all be in a folder or anything about the hurricane spinner.
Stuff like that, the health department requirements and fees and all this. It just. Supported enough to make it worth the while of what needs to be done. Say, free sand, remember, it's $50 or $100 for a license for a one-time.
60.
60-something. I joined the park committee when he was originally on the board, his first term,
As a trustee,
as a trustee.
not on the
But
park
he-
board.
Yeah.
But he attended to park meetings.
He stopped after a while, I think. I don't remember him being around much, because I think he thought he
Stuff is
heard
setting
us.
for the grant. This is
That's
setting
why
for the
Will
grant.
apparently quit, because he thought, "Oh, I'm just gonna hurt you being in here, so. But I don't remember him having a great deal of influence or being in that many meetings. Or maybe it was after maybe he was in the beginning, but then when he lost election, I know he wasn't there then. I just don't remember for sure. I'd have to talk to some of the others.
So with him not being here, what kind of? Standstill, we don't know.
Everything's Jack. The Yeah, he had Barb sign it.
So really, it's going to be a small thing.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like I said, if there's questions, stuff we want to take to the prosecutor, said we could do that. She said if there's stuff that we think is not here, you know, that we can say, hey, this should be here. Example, calendars. You know, that's the only one, and then you have those ones, you know. So we don't have from 10, 11, 12, that's 13.
We have 10.
Okay, so we don't have 11 or 12. That she recommended that we could possibly send a letter to
Did
the
these match
attorney
the
handling her
calendar?
case.
I didn't look, I was counting to see how many
Saying
rentals
these
there were.
need to be turned over to the township, the records.
Did that match?
If she doesn't have
I
them,
didn't count.
Oh.
I just looked to see how many, because I was
You have to.
surprised that in 2013 there was 44
What did she turn
rentals.
over, just minutes or?
So just
Is that
kind of
all
think
very
about the
there was,
process.
yeah, about that much stuff in that box, that's it.
There should be tons of paperwork on that Operation Roundup.
Minutes was in that.
Tons.
Yeah, these are just missing.
There's-
You know, this is it. It's Operation Roundup.
And see on that spinner, that hurricane spinner, Barb signed for that. And she had no authority to do that.
What do you mean she signed for it? When they delivered it or?
Yeah.
Purchase it.
Purchase.
To purchase.
Because there was other
Yeah.
monies that was gonna, they got a grant for 2/3 of it, so another third of it had to come from the township. So she signed an agreement with Meyer Designs to pay for the rest of it.
No, she didn't have the authority to sign it. That's what Ben and I kept, didn't sign for a month, couple months.
And then, you know, we wouldn't sign the check to send to them because that wasn't right. You know, the people here didn't want it, you know. It come down in the end, Meyer Designs, they held up to their end of agreement. They didn't know, you know, they had no idea, but they did the work, so they deserve to get paid. You know?
And wasn't it 800 and some dollars?
778.
800 and some dollars of our tax money that she signed for. And personally, I said at the time she should have been prosecuted for that because she had no authority to sign for it. It would be like me being the head of the comprehensive planning committee saying, I want a fire department here, so I'm going to sign to have it put in, taxpayers pay for it. You know, let me try that and see what happens.
Did the prosecutor ever look at that?
Oh, we talked
Her
about
signing?
Well, also, on top of $800, work day costs $1,500
Yeah.
or something. And because he's already voted down, not take this thing out, he went ahead, hired the people, and had to take it out, so then they have to put it back in. So now, we're looking 1,400, 1,200 plus 800. Then whatever the park committee's missing out of Barb Weissman,
Yeah.
you know, it just keeps building up. And we're not making this up. This is all video, it's all bare facts. You know, where does it stop? I mean, if it's,
When was
if
that
it
very
was
good?
my private city,
December
25, $20,000 out of my private city.
What?
The merry-go-round was December 8th or 9th.
December something, it was
December
raining,
8th.
cold,
What
raining
year?
that day.
Would have been 2012, yeah.
If it's working right above that,
Yeah.
nobody can use that. He's the one who ordered our program now, all that. So it costs the taxpayer, oh, we're counting, a bit of money.
that merry-go-round will last a long time now. Yeah. I put some berries in that thing, it should go 1,000,000 miles.
Good.
And this is no joke, and I know you've seen this. Every time I drive through town and there's kids at the park,
They're always.
They're always on the merry, yeah.
you know?
Because we wanted to get a brand new one,
Yeah.
a nice shiny one, go with the new stuff. But there just wasn't enough money to do it all.
Sure.
It was one thing at a time.
And honestly, when all that came about, I looked at prices on new merry-go-round. And the new merry-go-rounds would have been purchased for the same price that Hurricane Center was purchased for.
Oh, I know.
So you'd have the same money in it.
I know.
And the kids,
You know?
the kids can't even use the hurricane spinner. Have you
I know.
tried to, it's so tall.
It is tall.
Yeah.
It is tall.
And you go to any school playground, they're shorter than that. The kids can reach
Yeah.
them. And It's like it
And they
was,
like it if they can reach it, even
Yeah.
though I don't know why.
Yeah.
To me, it's,
Well, actually, what I'd be thinking to her is, I'm not bringing in nobody mind, this is true. You get some of these young kids who have ropes and stuff, then throw a rope over that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at, you don't never know.
Yeah.
That's scary, because nobody can touch the ground. I'm not here at certain height, that's about what, 4'8", 5 foot?
Oh, that thing?
oh, I can't even reach it, no.
I can
That's the height of the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did walk over there.
The ages of it is, what, 6
It
to,
said two to teenage age, and I already, God, I said, it's got to be installable. The guy said, absolutely not, it's not installable. He said, from grade level, to here, it has to be between this and was, per their specs. And I said, well, how is a 2 through 12-year-old going to play on that? They can't read it, But then they market it, whatever.
It's the kids have been clear up on them roofs. No matter how safe you make it, kids
No,
are.
kids can always find a way to kill themselves on
Yeah.
something. I know,
Uh-huh.
I know. But I know Jeff's reasoning was the merry-go-round is dangerous. Well, the swings are dangerous. Everything's dangerous if you use it incorrectly.
You got it.
But
When I went to school over Thornville, the swings was on asphalt.
oh, me too. Me too.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
We shouldn't be alive.
But
Well, and we had monkey bars that you would
Oh, yeah.
climb on and hang upside down and,
yeah, like one down in Concord, they had asphalt around the outside of them.
yeah.
We used to jump out of those swings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And try to see how high you could be when you're jumping.
Yeah.
The higher you were, the braver you are. So are you guys going to do anything about Barb signing for that $800?
That's all you can do is go after. I don't think you'll ever find it.
Yeah.
That you've got, I
Unless
mean,
you can
that
find a
is,
check that wasn't returned when it says it
Yeah.
was on that paperwork.
but at least that is something that you have in writing that you can go after her for. I mean, that's $800 that the township's out that we shouldn't have been in the first place. And I mean, that's always been my position. You guys know that. From the time that meeting
Well,
was.
I know it too, right? Because she didn't have the authority
No, she
to
didn't.
sign for that. To
No.
order that should went across in front of the board, and none of it went in front of the board when that hurricane.
No. And when they came to the meeting and said they had the grant for that piece of equipment, actually it was Nicole who said it that night, I said to her, how good is the grant? When does it expire? Well, she didn't know. So everything was rushed into
Who filled out the grant, I assume?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the
Don't
paperwork's
you
right
guys
there.
have to all sign for?
Yeah.
Well, you should, but Jeff's, right here's the paperwork.
It actually came to the board to where they were going to fill out this grant. Okay, what are you going to apply for? And he had a drawing that he'd already got from our design, that's fine. And they had drew this up. And in place of that is, you see this half dome climber. It's at whatever, just like a half circle. And that's what they had on the picture. And they said something similar to that.
Similar.
That's something similar to that. And that's
That's
what was put out on the table.
So in 2010, we had a total of 35 rentals and 16 of them were on the calendar. I don't know what that means.
Say that again?
We had a total of 35 rentals in 2010 and 16
On the
of them
form.
were on the calendar.
Only 16.
But she has 35 forms.
Right, right,
So if it was the other way, then there'd be a problem.
right. So she may, I don't somehow must not have been telling, or she got them last minute.
That or, when did I leave the township? Or the clerk?
Yeah, maybe that was
Something
it.
with the date on it. Maybe something on, I just don't remember. I left in October of 2010. 2010.
Yeah, goes with that.
Okay. So really, the first part of October should, or the first part of 2010 should have been more accurate than the rest of it.
It should. But like I said, I know sometimes she didn't give you the information.
Well, and some of them are on the calendar, and I don't have forms for them, so it's,
That's what worries me, because I don't remember if we went back. She may have told me that they canceled, but that doesn't mean I remembered to go in there or even thought to
and I would,
take it off.
I guess I would be more suspicious if they were on the calendar and I didn't have a form, if that was the only problem, but I have forms that aren't on the calendar. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
so she could have very easily, if they weren't on the calendar, I didn't even have to know about them, basically, you know what I'm saying? So since she actually did turn something in,
But if she thought someone was keeping track of how many times the building was rented,
right,
and she just kept the deposit,
yeah,
it's $25.
I think,
Well,
my opinion is, I think even if like 2013, you go back to 2012, 2013, there's approximately 44 rentals. 2012, there's 30. You've got phone numbers on there to make phone calls to these people just as a follow-up and check it.
but are they gonna remember?
Right.
They make, but I'm saying 2013 would be better than 2012, of
And I don't
course.
want somebody to take advantage of these
No, but
situations.
you have a lot of repeat people in there too.
Yeah,
And I
most
think
of
they'll
them
be,
There's a lot of people that, you know, that all of us know personally, you know,
Yeah.
that I think would be honest. that would
I
be
think so
honest,
too.
You know,
But all you can do is ask them instead of guessing. We're sitting here with no knowledge as opposed to maybe some knowledge, you know, of if they say, oh yeah, or oh no, I didn't, and this is a reason why, or I didn't know we were, you know, whatever. That's what I would say. You're at least privy to the phone numbers.
But it still doesn't produce a paper trail to be able
Yeah,
to do anything.
it's still, there's still no documented proof.
unless somebody wanted to write, I don't know, or a statement, I don't know.
But then it's still their word against ours.
There's still no, unless they have a check that both of them were cashed.
A lot of it was cash though, not too many checks, a lot was cash.
Problem, a lot of it is
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
See, and I don't know if she could cash a check that was written out in blood check.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because, yeah, the checks are supposed to be made out to the township.
Right. One, the ones I always receive, you know, they always have,
Right.
or else it'll say Bowling Green Community Building or something like that.
Can you think of anything else on here?
There are
Different way
banks
to
with cash,
word
it's
it?
hard to say.
Townships claim non-equipment.
If Jack doesn't have the authority to sign, be the only signature on a grant, is there nothing that
I
can
don't
be done
know.
about that?
I don't know.
Is that something the prosecutor's ever been asked?
Cause see,
Because to me, you know, this whole mess kind of screwed up Energy Co-op
all that.
grants for the township.
Yeah.
And they, you know,
Yeah.
you can
Although I don't know
you can
if
apply
Energy,
for it
I don't know if
quarterly.
Energy Co-op knows about the situation though.
No, they don't.
Oh, they
Because
don't?
No.
I don't
good.
Cause see, we didn't,
I don't think we could ever use Meyer Designs again.
No, I'm sure of that.
I don't think
It's a
Energy
shame,
Co-op
if they were to get
knows.
something.
Well, unless, what did that letter say?
oh, they would probably deal with us.
I think I have that.
Well, Jeff Cash up front.
I was gonna say, isn't that the follow-up letter that Ben said
See, this
that
is
you
what
voted
brought
that could
to
not be
me
sent and was sent
before
anyway?
Yeah.
when all that was went on. All that is in front of the park committee. This wasn't brought in front of us, was it, Ben?
No.
Because I've never seen that before.
Well, is there anything in the books that requires all three of you to apply for these things? Because if there
I
is,
don't know.
can you make a resolution to do that?
You know, to apply for it, I don't know about apply. The money was spent,
Right.
you know, in the end. To actually apply for it, I don't know.
I don't know. But all that was done through the park committee. No, it was never done in front of the board.
Because they could have said, well, you know, you received the grant, we could have turned it down. We could have said, well, we don't have the funds to pay for the rest.
Yeah.
You know, to actually
True.
apply for something, I don't
I
know.
have her reports too. She was still in front.
Yeah, I think probably anyone could apply for a grant, but the township would have to accept,
Signature.
yeah. Especially if there's other monies involved. You know, matching funds or something like that, you can't just, write a grant and obligate the township for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not used to being cool.
Hair off.
No, let's not do
It's
that.
just me.
Oh, man, this is nice.
Did anybody hear from Jeff about not coming to the meeting tonight?
He never lets us know if he's
He
not.
just doesn't show?
He didn't tell us he wasn't coming to the reg meeting either.
Also, was it brought to the board to remove any playground equipment at any time? Was it ever brought to the board?
None of that stuff is brought to the board of any.
So you just do what you want and just remove what you want? And
Yeah,
just pick and choose
Yep.
and just remove?
yep.
So it didn't just cost us the $800 for the rest of the hurricane center, it cost us the money to put the merry-go-round back
Back.
in, which was, I don't know, I'm gonna guess, $1,200, $1,400.
My question is, I still don't understand, I know, you know, since he done what he did, he was, you know, illegal because this was once again, all up that, took all three of those, why in the hell, he doesn't have to take this back, you know? I mean, how can a prosecutor or anything, there gotta be some kind of law. I mean, you just can't break the law and get by with
We talked to the prosecutor, well,
it. Yeah,
We did, and I mean, I'd have talked to her, she'd have an on to refresh my memory on that. I don't know, I mean, I don't think Jeff per se spent the money. You know, he didn't stick his neck out there to say we're gonna pay for the rest of it. There was a signature of Barbara Wiseman on there. It said, yes, the township will pay for the rest, so. Other than Jeff's name being on the grant application, I think that was about it. I mean, he took it out, he was there to take it out, and, you know.
And someone had to tell Barb that she could sign for that. I cannot believe that anybody that's the head of any committee is just going to say, oh yeah, I can sign for this. Do you think, Vicki? I mean,
She signed the actual order or receipt of when it got here?
I believe she signed a receipt.
Yeah, yes, yes.
So who
See,
actually ordered it then?
there were, and all the information on top of this was never to the township here. It was always to Jeff's house.
The bill for the hurricane spinner was addressed to Jeff's address. Which I should have had that stuff.
Two peas in a
So that's
pod?
what it was to order it, for us to take delivery of it. There was a signature on there. Am I against having other pieces out there? You know, I'm not against it. You know, did it go about the wrong way to have that out there? Absolutely. Yeah.
I think we could have spent the money on something more fun.
How about a fence?
well, even to replace the fence, because the fence looks bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, and I know that was another part of the grant that Michael and you and,
Well, that was the energy co-op grant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That we got, because we couldn't get it all.
right,
We went
right.
for the big
That was going to
bucks.
be phase 2.
And the basketball court was more important because it was in worse shape. And
Right, yeah.
So I can't believe somebody would put it back down. The way guys play. See, I have grandsons now and I put away up there because I had girls. Oh my God, they're little maniacs trying to kill themselves. What is going on? Yeah, but I always, I know Michael always told us, with the soil conservancy that was on, they applied for a grant every quarter. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
There's money out there. Go
Yeah.
for it,
I seen him.
Is he
I
back
thought he
in
moved out of the area.
No, he still lives, he works out of the area.
He sold his house, didn't he?
No, he still has his house on it. He's up at Canton.
What would be an apartment that would be a purpose trustee?
He's working.
Oh, I thought he was out of state. I thought he lived in Minnesota or somewhere.
He's up there.
Right?
Yeah.
He's back here.
We make me a copy of that, Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I didn't read, maybe I did.
This will probably never happen, because it's all volunteer work, and I understand people do
I
it.
still have that
On the fire
receipt.
department, we have an actual grant committee. We have different committees. We have an actual grant
Grant
Is
committee.
it the title?
Yeah, I still think
Yeah.
the park committee is a good idea.
That you could
It
be a
wasn't
committee if you're
put
interested.
together as well as
Yeah.
it should.
I appreciate
Can
what
you make a
everybody
copy?
does.
Oh, I
I
know.
really
I
do.
know.
You know what I mean?
I know that, but it was not structured properly. We didn't have a lot of support because of the Jeff divide, and which is a shame, but that's how it was.
You're just not saying, we could never have that again, Most definitely we could do something like that again.
I like the idea of granting the increase.
And we have one guy that heads it up. So people hear about it, they kind of tell him, he'll look into it, whatever. And I mean, we've received numerous grants down there.
Yeah.
And he's attended some seminars and stuff like that on how to write them, how to better propose them, all that kind of stuff. Before, we were actually hiring somebody for bigger grants.
Right.
And they do it to where it's like $1,000 up front, they'll write a grant. Or if you receive the grant, they get like 10% of what your grant's value was. So either you pay no money up front, they take it, it's going to be a bigger portion, or you pay $1,000 up front and take it. And that's what we were doing before. This guy kind of said, hey, I'll head it up to it. He's been doing it for, 6, 8 years. He's getting pretty decent at it. I mean, we've got several
Good idea,
things.
there's money out there.
Oh, yeah.
We could still go for another state grant.
Well, that's what I found a grant that we would qualify for. I even contacted people, they're taking applications, I think, in July. And she emailed me back and said, yes, that we would qualify, and, because I told her we wanted to replace the fence and paint those planters and do some stuff, and, what we wanted to do with the grant money, and she said we would qualify, so, I forget do you remember the name of that? I was thinking.
I mean, there's all
sent me a
kinds
copy
of
of it.
platforms,
What's the name of the
stuff like that,
organization?
there's a sign out there, too.
The
Landscape
name of the
out there,
organization
whatever,
is,
Still like to see parking around the other side, especially now that you got 2 precincts vote back here.
Yeah.
The next presidential election's gonna be hell parking over here. So, an energy co-op is an easy grant to go for. State's a lot of paperwork.
Well, I think we keep the 2 precincts. It's really kind of nice because really coming from Great Shot down here is not that far.
No.
I don't know why they moved it, I really don't, because it wasn't a fire station,
Yeah.
and they never really told us down there. They just like, they put signs on the door, so they just went down there.
Yeah, they combined a lot of them.
Yeah, they did that to stuff.
Save money, I guess, I don't know.
It's to save money, yeah. Well, I think it was handed down by the state, but
I mean, what money are they gonna spend on poll workers?
the thing is, you still have the same amount of poll workers, so you're not saving it right now. That law needs to be changed.
Right.
Now you got a bunch of people sitting around twiddling their thumbs
Sure.
because you only need 2 people to run that signature book. The other 2 people do nothing. Not fun, but. I don't know.
So what are we doing?
I mean, does anybody have anything on the list that we want to ask for? I mean, there's calendars for 11 and 12. All the receipts, like copies of originals, you know what you have.
I have copies. I do have some originals. I didn't realize I had as many originals as I have, but the last part of 2013 that Jeff keeps asking for to give to Barb, I've got October, November, December originals of 2013. But everything else I have copies of. And I don't understand why she would need to keep anything.
So she kept the originals?
She kept the originals.
She says she doesn't have them, or?
I don't think any work's really been passed over this way, what she does or doesn't have,
Right.
might have, might not have.
You haven't talked to her?
It's
You
here.
haven't talked to her directly?
Oh,
No, but, this box was given to Jeff, which, or was given to us.
What I said is I would have. You might want to talk about that.
Yeah, my old original copies that.
Yeah.
instead of having a code set.
I expected them to be a box.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because, what would you do with the original copies if you're not involved anymore?
Make it difficult. Make it difficult as far as if anything was taken out of the box. we take a merry-go-round or do we leave it in? Well, let's think about that. Do we leave the stuff in the box or do we take it out? Let's think about that one. You know, sign a check. Yeah.
When Jeff went and got these things, was this before or after these charges for stealing?
It
I mean, was there any reason to believe that
Right
she
after we.
The charge, she was,
We
When was
did-
she originally charged?
it happened December 31st. He received these so-called, he said the early January.
So he
He
was
knew-
aware that
he-
there might,
Right,
that she had been accused, okay.
yes,
See, we
Yes.
It's like, he'll think he
deleted.
didn't know that.
right,
Oh,
I'm sure, yes,
But we had dissolved the park committee.
on December
January
31st,
1.
yes.
Yeah.
January 1. So he hadn't received these, so that's probably why he got it back. Our January meeting, they were asked for. Well, I happened to rid of my car.
Which your January meeting was February 4th because of the snow, so you didn't have a January meeting.
They're in my car, so we never got them. The February meeting, we never got them. So then we kind of pressured a little bit, talked to the prosecutor. The prosecutor advised him that he needed to turn them over. He came out with all that. For what reason he was keeping them? I don't know.
Has the prosecutor approached Barb for these records?
Barb? No, I know she's talked to Jeff about it. But actually talk to Barb, no. That would have to be
Why
us
does the
asking her.
prosecutor not directly talk to Barb about?
That would have to be us asking her, like I said, making a recommendation for their office to ask Barb or attorney, whatever, to say, hey, we want this stuff. You have this stuff. You know, if she says yes, here it is. If she says no, I don't have it, and we can say, but you should have it.
But this is 6 months down the road now.
That's all right. They need to be kept for something we never shut off.
So,
You know, these calendars were produced, maintained by the township. She was part of that. You know, so if 11 to 12, they should be here somewhere, but they're not. You know, and if she says I don't have them, well, you better find out what happened. You know, they need to be there somewhere. They're
Do you
not.
want me to email it to you or just
Yeah,
give you
yeah, you can get emails. Vicki, it's Nature Works that I found that we qualify for.
Yeah, NatureWorks is the
Yeah, I
state.
thought, as soon as I saw that on there, I was like.
It's a lot
that's it.
of paperwork.
That was the
Yeah.
big grant you guys have got.
That was the big
Yeah.
one. And we got most of it for the county that year.
I have all my paperwork. It's Michael gave me.
Now, do they still have that? They're still,
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
that's what
one,
I wasn't sure
that's the one I contacted her about, and she said
Bye,
we
Ron.
would qualify for it.
See you, Ron.
yeah,
Thanks.
that's the only state
Yeah.
where we qualify for, yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't taking applications.
Yeah, it's once
when
a
I
year.
Yeah,
It's once a year, and you can call and talk to Sue Spiker? Does that sound right?
I forget who I emailed, but she did answer back.
I think it's
She
Sue
does the
Spiker.
road grants.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, she's the one that told me about the Nature Works grant, and that would be the only one we'd be eligible for. And at some point, she will know, and I don't know when, she will know how much grant money Licking County will be granted.
Yeah. Well, I know
And
it's
I
set
knew
on
that
the,
year it was 25 or 26,000, and we got all but 1,000 something of it, I think, so.
so because
let's
you
see,
have
and
a
I know
copy,
the one in the Nature Works that I was looking at, I think
because you
it's
have
up
a
to
copy of the check
$10,000.
or the cash.
So, and I
that's
forget
been
which
put
one
in
it
your
was,
hand.
but I
The
found
only
it
thing we don't
online.
know
I mean, I
about
didn't even
is the
realize this was it,
process.
but I found it online
Right,
because,
the co-op's
And
up to
so
10,
the
but
only
nobody ever
way to do
gets
that.
yeah.
They-
But I'd looked, online for different, like, even Columbus, I forget what one it was, like, we could get money to do plantings from them.
Lowe's has a little thing going on. too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
So there's different, but it's just taking
And
the
garden
time.
clubs might even be willing to come in.
Yeah,
There's lots of options.
Right.
For things like that, small
Yeah.
things.
but, it's just taking the time to do it
Yeah.
and trying to keep things going so everybody's cooperating. So,
Yeah. It's a lot of work going for state.
Do you think of anything else for us?
I mean, we had to have
Anything else?
GPS location, apart, all kinds of weird stuff,
Wow.
And to know it wasn't on Indian burial grounds, historical sites.
yeah.
But unfortunately, it might
He can,
Oh, he done,
have,
he done
just to
an
say,
awesome job.
yes, she did.
Which one, yes,
But
to Amy.
how he can, apply for the grant without the other trustees?
No, I see.
Isn't the letter for the grant supposed to send out to the trustees?
And now it's order.
Yeah, we can apply for it.
Not seen in a long time.
I thought he moved away.
He's got an
Pursue.
apartment up there that he stays at somewhere.
Pursue.
Now, is he still married?
About the
And his wife's
Pursue.
here?
Pursue
He's
what?
back
That's
here
what I
every
thought,
weekend.
but, yeah, but I wasn't sure, but I thought
The
it
funding,
was.
pursue the funding?
I even when I
Pursue
saw his
Township
house
funding. Or
on,
matching funds
up for sale,
from the
and I
township.
clicked on it, and I thought it was his house.
The one next door sold.
Oh, did
Right
it?
next door, that's the one that they're gonna have
And
the
promise.
zoning
Yeah.
Yeah, but
problem.
see, I thought it was
Matching
his house.
funds,
This is
right?
down
Yeah.
further.
This
Promise.
next house was sitting way
Way
back.
back
Yeah.
there. Back when.
Got a call, you know that guardrail on the hills where we put them arrows on it up? Yeah, somebody, I haven't seen it, somebody ran into it, knocked the guardrail over.
Knocked the guardrail over.
Knock the signs off too, Dee said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, it's Dee's son's.
I talked to her son, yeah.
Yeah,
So we just fixed a post out there.
yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, that's what she said.
So I've got there to do something with it.
So what else do we need to discuss about?
Well, she said she doesn't know, if you go out and look at it, she doesn't know how they drove away. She thinks somebody hired a private tow truck
Come get it, yeah.
to come and get it because, yeah,
I
she
don't know, that
doesn't
would be
think
my only suggestion,
they could drive away.
is the phone calls. That's all I can suggest.
I just know I would, you know, if I had
Yeah.
rented the building, if I was just average person down there, had no clue what was going on. I don't know if I would remember if I got my deposit back or not. I don't know. I can try and
Is
call.
it gonna do any good? I mean, I can go talk
Yeah,
to
that's the thing.
people again and see if they wanna
Yeah.
make a statement. Is it
Without
gonna
the
do any
paper
good?
trail.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the
Without
thing.
proof,
yeah.
there's
I mean, they
not
can
much.
tell us that they didn't get it back, but
Well, and see, and I understand the
Is there
concept of
more
putting
against her?
a $25 deposit down to hold the building, and most places do
Sure.
take that off of your rent.
Sure.
So if you don't get that $25 back, most people would not question. And probably not even remember it.
Repeat people, you would think.
Oh,
would-
freeze.
Well, but if every time it's the same, that,
I don't know.
That's all I got to say. Anything?
Well, if she did it, she may get away with this. Exactly.
so
Anything?
actually, I would suggest making up a new contract and saying the rental price of the building is $25. You have to put a $25 deposit and the price of the rent at the time of
How is
rental,
it?
Stay right over there.
and then return the deposit when it's vacated.
oh, it does say deposit $25 plus $25 rental.
But it doesn't say.
Doesn't it say
Oh,
something
this
about
is-
returning it after it's cleaned?
Yeah, it does say that.
Yeah, I thought it did. But on the back where it says that
Nothing
it was
was printed up.
returned, it probably should have a signature of the person. If there isn't a space for that, I don't remember.
Right. Yeah, because it just says date deposit received,
And there should,
date deposit returned.
is there a thing that says if you don't cancel in so
Right here.
many days?
And it says if deposit wasn't returned, give explanation why, why it wasn't.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But there's no
yeah.
signature.
I thought that's what,
You
because,
should add a signature there.
yeah.
Knew everybody worked together. I really have an awesome park. Everything.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did really well with our spaghetti dinner.
Did,
Yeah, I mean, we would have made a lot more money had we prepared for 50 to 75 people.
that's the problem with those things, you have no idea who's going to walk through.
Well,
the door.
and see, that was the thing that I had suggested was 50 to 75 people. We ended up preparing for 125
So that way,
and only had 50.
Donnie,
So
125 is
You
really
get one, and the person gets one.
that's what I said.
Now, maybe if you did did it on a
We need to
monthly
change.
basis.
That's what we
People
were
got
aiming,
used
that's
to-
what we
yeah,
were
that's what
aiming
we
for.
Signature place where they actually,
And then maybe we would get more people coming in because
Yeah.
word of mouth will get it
That's-
around.
but yeah, we could do that.
That's what we
Yeah.
wanted to do, was to
And
try
there's some
to.
money
You
to
know,
be made
to
doing
say,
something
fill this
like
out in
that.
3 pages.
Yeah.
But
You
it
read
would
the
be nice
first
to be
one.
able to get a
The
grant
next
to
two
get
stay
these
together.
things.
So then they come back and give their cost.
As long as you do donations only,
This one
you
should be on
can
this one.
use what's
This
there.
one. Yeah.
And
I wondered if that was the case, because I knew we
As
had
long
to
as Donnie
have
kept
certain
them, and then he would have
specifications.
them.
It's
One
gonna
would say it was
cost us
Donnie, one
that.
would.
Right? So then you
But,
could always go back to
I
Donnie,
got to
get this
thinking to
never
myself,
happen again.
donation only. Of course, you're not gonna make huge money doing that, but,
did.
well, good.
Actually, Prophet Spark down in South Zanesville has a monthly spaghetti dinner and they charge $7 a person. That's what we ended up making, was $7 a
Look at it.
person.
You
So-
should never know
I know.
when you do donation only.
I know, because
A lot
you
of
have some people,
You
yeah.
have all the homeless community
Anything
in
else?
county coming in,
We're gonna
you
do?
don't know.
We've done the firehouse. We try to do 1 or 2 a year. First one we did, you get like 50 people. Next one, you get like 60 or 70 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, it really is.
And I think that potluck, the Horace and potluck
I love that,
would
you know, I
go
love that.
good for the whole township too.
I didn't get the hogs this year, so.
But the hogs are ridiculous now. Oh my.
Well, that disease
Oh, yeah,
wiped
I
out
did
so
hear
many,
about that. Yeah, I did
that
hear about
disease
that.
wiped so many of them out that, you're gonna pay for pork dearly.
Yep. It's not cheap
They're
now.
like 2.5, 3 times what they should
Yeah.
pay.
Only thing we could do is get a deer when they hit along the road.
Couple raccoons.
Possum or two, yeah.
Well, if you get the deer right
Squirrel on a
away,
spit.
you're okay.
There used to be, I'm not sure if there still is, one organization, I don't know if it was the Longbow Hunters or somebody that did a wild game dinner with raccoon and possum and skunk, and I had to cover it one time, but I didn't eat anything. Wasn't my cup of tea.
All right, well,
No,
okay.
there's some fresh ones along the road once in a while.
Get them before the buzzards do.
Well, you're gonna enjoy your meeting.
Yeah. Done.
Okay.
Make a wish, we do.
I'll second it.